Hello, hello
Happy birthday!
to you. Yeah, we both celebrated our birthdays in between the previous Monday and today, so
Yeah. How was your celebration?
it was one of the quieter ones, really. It was lovely in a way that I got to spend the day with the people I really love, but there was no like huge party or anything as I used to do sometimes in the previous years. It was a slightly different one, but was really nice. What about you?
Same. Yeah, we had a lot of family dinners and lunches and with all the parts of the family, so a little bit friends. It was nice. Nothing special, but a good feeling, let's say it like that, yeah.
And a lot of
We
good
were laughing
food.
a lot.
And a lot of good food, huh?
A lot of good food, a lot of good wine, a lot of good cakes, so
Yeah. Nice.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Inspired by that, we want to talk about birthdays today and how different people go about it, what kind of thinking that brings along, sort of thinking about milestones and comparing to others and all that comes with that. And anything around birthdays really. So if anyone watching us wants to share anything or ask us a question, please do so.
or if you have birthday now in August or in the beginning of September, just drop in and say, I am having birthday, and we're gonna maybe sing a happy birthday to you. Yeah. Do you use any rituals for your birthday? Like you said, if you have maybe do some review for the year that has passed and maybe think about the goals for another year or something similar.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I do it in a particularly structured way, at least not every year. Some years more structured than others, perhaps, but I do take time to reflect on what has happened in the previous year, where am I overall in terms of, my life direction, the goals, alignment with my values, which area of my life perhaps needs some course correction. So I do take time to actually reflect where I'm at, where I want to be, what needs to change, and what can I do next to get me closer to where I want to be. So yeah, kind of in a not particularly structured way, but there is some reflection. What about you?
That's amazing, because I think we should do that often, like in the end of every month, not only on the 1st of January,
Yeah.
but really more often. I have to be honest, and I didn't do anything like this. So for my birthday, I sat, I took my notebook out and I started to write myself a happy birthday wish.
Oh, lovely.
So it was a whole page long. And I think this is a way of me setting my goals in a different kind of way. And let's see what it will be. Yeah, what will come out of that.
Oh, yeah.
Greetings from London. Hey.
Yeah.
Greetings back to London.
Hey, Paul. Greetings back to you. Your birthday is coming up, I think, soon as well, isn't it? But yeah. I like that. It's different. And I like the point about, reflecting on a more regular basis. But I think a lot of us actually do it around New Year's Eve. So there is kind of an annual thing. We're a bit lucky that our birthdays are not exactly halfway, but, still sometime apart from New Year's Eve. So it gives us a good opportunity to do it twice a year at least. But of course, it is a good practice to do it more often. And yeah, 4th of September, so very soon.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Paul, how do you celebrate your birthday, and what do you do? Reflect on your progress, any goals? How do you go about it? We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
And maybe, Petra, from your friends or clients, anything curious that you've learned about people and their birthdays, how they go about it and what it triggers? I know a lot of people tend to get almost depressed, like in a week, 2 weeks before their birthday. Have you noticed that? And do you have any thoughts on that?
I've noticed with women that a lot of them, they say, oh, I don't want to have a birthday party. I don't want to have any, no, don't bring me presents and anything. But secretly, they wish for that somebody would anyway bring them presents or throw a birthday party. And when they don't get this, they are kind of disappointed. Oh, and none again, nobody was thinking about me. But they were really like instructing, I don't want to have a birthday party. But then they are disappointed because nobody throw them a birthday party. So I think this is kind of a tricky situation because yeah, if you wish for something, then say it out loud, you know, don't play tricks with yourself, because this is not playing tricks with others, but with yourself. If I'm telling everybody don't do it, but I secretly anticipating that they will do it anyway, yeah, this is a tricky one.
It is. I love that you brought it up. It's really curious for me as well as to what drives that kind of behavior. I wonder if, and perhaps it could be different explanations with different people, but what comes to mind for me is it could be someone who cannot really voice their needs and wants in an open way because that's not something that they've learned growing up, or they almost feel like, well, that's not available to them. I don't know. I'm just really... Yeah. I can't think of anyone like that.
For that person I was working with was totally like, I'm not worthy, and I'm not worthy of having some attention, to receive some special treatment, but she wanted that, and it was really sad to see. But I think now she's doing progress. She's throwing a big birthday parties, and she's allowing people to celebrate her birthday. Yeah. So it's nice to see that. Yeah, but for some people, they're just, I don't want to celebrate my birthday, or they totally forget about their birthdays. And some people, they just crave for this. I have a friend, she has, when she's having birthday, she is celebrating it for 2 weeks straight. Like really full on.
Yeah. I guess there is no right or wrong here, and yeah, it's really what's present for you in the moment. But in the case you mentioned earlier, where the person actually wants to be celebrated but doesn't really speak up about it, yeah, I would really encourage our listeners to recognize what it is that you truly want, and is it your desire, or is it something that you've seen on Instagram, people celebrating on a yacht with champagne, whatever, these big celebrations with lots of photos. And you kind of take it on thinking, this is what I want or need. Do you actually want this, or would you rather be with 1-2 close friends somewhere doing something where you actually forget to post about it on Instagram, you know, because you're just having really good time? What it is that you want. So find that out, and then have the guts to actually follow your wants and needs. And if it involves other people, speak up, say it to them directly, like, I would love you to be there with me on that day, and I want to spend it doing this and that, rather than expecting. You're almost setting yourself up for disappointment and then building up resentment on top of it when you don't communicate what you want. You created in your mind the perfect picture, then the person, of course, most likely will not give you what you want because they don't know. They can't read your mind, and then you're upset, you're disappointed, and there is resentment and all of that. You don't need that.
And they think you hate it, you know, because if you're all the time saying, I don't want it, they think you really don't want it, and they just accept your wishes. And I think it's good that they accept your wishes, but then just pick up what you want. Yeah, it's so true. And then that's what you said. I forgot all the time to make selfies, to make photos of our friends, because we are having such a good time. We are really having good conversations, laughing a lot, and I just forget about making a photo, a selfie or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, we have another message. So being with loved ones, that's great. And well, feeling down about all those wonderful dreams that I haven't accomplished yet. Thank you for that. And I think this this is exactly what happens with quite a few of us. And that's why many people feel a little bit down in the days leading up to their birthday, is really because that self-reflection, whether we are aware of it or not, it is happening in the background. And quite often, especially when it's leading up to certain round numbers, let's say you're closing a decade in your life or whatever it is, we have those ideas about where we should be in life by that number, let's say, and a lot of that is again societal pressure from the relatives. We get these ideas where you should be in your career, in your family life, etc. And then you look around and you see what's happening with most of your peers your age, and willingly or not, you start comparing, and you end up, and many of us, our inner critic wakes up and says, oh, you haven't done this and this and that. Petra, what would you say to these people, and what would you say to this inner critic?
I would just say be compassionate with yourself and think about what you accomplished in your life. Because my life, like for instance, I'm traveling a lot. I don't have kids. I don't have a house. We are renting everything. So we don't even have a car. But when people around me start to talk, oh, I need to buy this, I need to buy this, I need to change the car, I'm like, okay, that's good for you, but I don't need that. My life is different. And just knowing what you want, what you achieved in your life, what are your priorities, what are your values, and just stick to that. Don't fall into the trap of comparison with others, because I think it gives us only these bad vibes, like I don't have this and that, but in the reality you don't even really wish for it, you don't want it, but you are in a bit of a sad mood because you don't have it. So just be honest with yourself. What is it that I want? What are my dreams, my goals? Am I living in according to my dreams, like you said before? And just do what is necessary to be happy, to be fulfilled, and just live your life the way you want to, not how the society is directing your life to be. So.
That's
and
great.
Whenever this inner critic comes up, just ask it, what is it really that you want to show me?
Yeah.
And be compassionate. I think this inner kindness, being kind to yourself, is really important. And today I read one thread. I don't know who wrote it, but it was so nice. How would you treat yourself if you would be madly in love in yourself, like you are madly in love in some other person? And I think people would be, quite different if they would accept themselves the way we accept some other being in our life.
Yeah, that's a great way to reframe it. And I love the suggestions you made about thinking actually about everything that we have accomplished. And I'm sure each and every one of us have done a lot. And sometimes it's more visible in terms of the sort of accomplishments in a physical world. But sometimes it's really where we've grown as a person, how we are learning to show up differently in our lives. So it may be not as tangible as buying a house or, having 3 kids or whatever it might be. But it's a great opportunity to reflect on everything that you've accomplished in life, all the challenges that you've overcome, all the people you've touched in a loving way, anything and everything. So it's just such a great opportunity also to give yourself credit for everything you've done in life. And another point that came up for me is really there is no unified timeline for all of us. And so comparing, there are so many stories of success in business world of people in their 60s and even 70s, right? So thinking, well, I haven't achieved my best career opportunities at 30, 35, 40. Well, maybe it's not your time. Maybe for you it's going to be 55. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing wrong with that. Or some people get married at 20, others get married at 30, others choose to never get married. Nothing wrong with that either, So I think just
70.
Absolutely, 80. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. And I was listening to Ariana Huffington's interview yesterday, and she started her AI company I think, with 74 years of age.
Wow.
So it's never too late, you know?
Yeah. And the world is changing so much now. I think, you know, I spoke with someone about it recently. Even if you look at the pictures of our parents and grandparents in our age, they looked very different. Their perception of the world was very different. And I think the world we live in right now provides so many opportunities in so many different ways that, I mean, life starts at 40, 50, 60, whenever. I think it's more about adjusting your mindset and not thinking, oh, well, I'm too old for anything, really. There's no such thing. You can do anything at any age. I get really inspired by stories about people who do something, you know, really not common for their age. Like, you know, all those people who start running marathons in their 70s, or there was this Olympic athlete this year from Chile in table tennis team who was 58, and it was her very first Olympics.
Amazing.
So, yeah. Because quite often when we think, well, I'm too old for that, we almost, we don't even try to do that because we tell ourselves that's not available. And it was funny with this Olympic athlete, I was just talking to my coach a few days before that, and he made a joke, something about, you know, becoming a professional player. And I said, oh, I'm too old for that now. And then I saw this lady joining the Olympic team at 58. So I was like, okay, we're back on track.
You still have time. Yeah. I would just like to talk also a bit more physical health. Like we are now in certain age, and I think we need to start to look on our bodies a little bit more. Like, you are playing a lot of sport, you are eating healthy and everything, but I think many people just forget. They think, I'm too old, I cannot do this anymore. But I would really encourage all of our listeners to dance, to go out to in the gym, or go for a hike or swim, or I don't know, whatever you like, but just to move your body, because more you are flexible and in good physical condition, better you are off on really old age. And I think we all want to be healthy when we are old, not just sitting on our bed and watching TV and waiting those few years to pass. So this was also one of my wishes for myself, that I stay healthy and that I gain a bit strength back. I want to do 10 pull-ups till the age of 50, so I still have a bit time, but I need to start practicing. Yeah,
that's a great one. And I think, you know, it's good for your physical health, but also exercising is good for your mental health. And if you actually do some sports or dancing or something, I think it's much easier to stick to that routine if you find something that you really enjoy doing. Because if it's something you don't really like, it becomes such a chore that you're like, oh, I don't want to be doing this, and it's more difficult to maintain. And also, why would you want to add something to your life that's not bringing joy? But there are so many sports, so many activities that you could choose from, and you can try and see what works for you. And if it makes you happy, then it's so easy for it to become a part of your life and add benefits in so many ways. So I would really invite you to explore what's available and what brings you joy.
Yeah, and also it brings connections. If you're doing something, you meet people and you can make really good friends in the old age, because I think the older we are, harder it is to really form these deep connections with other people, because we are all our little islands. We are living in our own worlds, in our bubbles, and it's harder to accept somebody else in. But I think with all these activities, when you are constantly together and hanging out and talking a lot, you can still form really good friendships also in the old age. Okay, we're not old, but
mature. I like this point, and I would like to almost challenge it, Petra, because, this is a very common belief, and people say that it's so difficult to make friends as you get older. Yet I think it's almost again like one of those muscles that you exercise. If you go out and you do meet new people, then it becomes easier and more natural. But people who, what happens naturally, I think, as we get older, we are almost, and especially people who live more conventional life, if you like, with this sort of 9 to 6 job and then kids that need to be taken, their day is so structured and it follows a particular routine that there is very little opportunity to interact with new people. But I think if you do, well, interesting point, we'll get to it now. Eileen, great to see you, Mommy. But I think, if you keep meeting new people, I think also you evolve through your life, and certain people that you were really close to earlier on, without actually falling out, they may still, those relationships may fade away a little bit, but you meet people as you get older who are more aligned with the new version of you, and you can still have great connection. And I do believe you can make friendships. Of course, not every person you meet will be friend, but you still have that fresh connections and new people in your lives. That's I think it's also essential for keeping you younger and more active and more alive.
I totally agree. But there are different types of friendships later. They are more mature. I think I have some friends from my high school, and because of that we lived through all of our difficult stages in our lives, we know each other on a really deep level. But when you are older, maybe the people you hang out, they don't know this whole complexity of you. They know one aspect of you, but maybe not you can share everything, of course, but I think when we face some challenges in our lives, and we can see how the people are reacting to them, and we really form these deeper connections, let's say. That's my opinion and experience with having friends. I still make new friends, really good friends, but when somebody knows you from the age of 18 and they know everything what you've been through, it's a bit different.
Yeah. Well, and I guess that's similar to what Eileen is saying here, is that it's more like connections that you make. But well, I think what comes to my mind is a little bit unique in a sense that some of the friends that I made over the past few years were my friends through the studies I do, and those people get to know me on a very deep level, the level that people who have known me for the past many years do not know me, because we practice on each other and we talk about really deep stuff, so they kind of know my all the issues that I've been dealing with from the inside almost. So that helps take that relationship to a deeper level. Yeah.
That's more like therapist.
Well, all kind of in a way, but kind of therapist friend.
Yeah.
I think most people would not have that.
It's really, it's helpful.
It's helpful. And then I think also it depends, I know some people who are quite a bit older, and yet they are just so naturally drawn to people, and people are drawn to them. They walk into any room and they just, meet everyone, and they're almost becoming friends in the matter of 5 minutes. And there are people who are more reserved. So I think there is a little bit of that, but a lot of it is also acquired and can be practiced and changed if this is something that you would want to do, of course. Nothing wrong with being more reserved and spending more time on your own.
Yeah, whatever suits you is the best. So yeah, but if you really want some connections but you're afraid of it, then I would really invite all of the people to just be brave, and go out and talk with people, and it's amazing. We can really form good connections with new people.
And actually, it's I read that it's such a big issue nowadays. There are a lot of people, and especially younger people, who actually really struggle to make friends and to have some I read some really sad statistics where I don't remember how many people, but a very large population of the people that they surveyed did not have a single person they could call a friend.
Oh.
And it was really, really sad, because we do need those connections. So yeah, great advice to be brave and reach out. And there are a lot of other people who want to connect out there. So, and a good way to connect with people is through shared activities and interests and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Aline, if you're still with us, your birthday is coming up soon as well. How do you go about that? Do you set any goals? Do you reflect on where you are at? Do share. We'd love to hear from you.
How long are you staying in Cyprus?
Just a couple more days. It's time to get back to my routine.
I'm also traveling tomorrow, so
okay.
It's time to pack everything and move on to a different continent.
Yeah, we will need to change the timings at some point for our calls because of your travel, but yeah, we'll announce that.
Yeah. So, do you wish to share anything else around birthdays?
No, I think we've actually had a lovely conversation. I really enjoyed it. And thank you everyone who was sharing and interacting with us. It was lovely to have you with us today.
Yeah, that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. So, have a great year around the sun.
You too.
Yeah, and speak to you next Monday.
Yeah, safe travels. Speak next Monday.
Yeah, same. Bye-bye.
Bye.